of the real Baby Esther's voice.
Big boy, I wanna be loved by you, just you, nobody else but you.
Helle Kane had the nerve to sue Max Fleischer, claiming that the Betty Boop character was based on her. In my opinion, this had to be around the time when all of Esther's pictures, posters, advertisements, and anything that had an image of her in her character disappeared. Many people showed up in court claiming to be Esther, but many people, including her manager, also showed up to say that they were not Esther and that they haven't seen her for a while. They were witness to the fact that the Betty Boop character copied Esther's on-stage persona. So the judge asked that Esther... This is so fucked up. The judge asked that Esther be brought before the court and sent people to find her. And after a short search, they declared her dead in absentia. Helle Kane lost the case, but Baby Esther lost her life.
That Betty Boop was inspired by a black performer? Yep, before this iconic character graced our screens, there was Esther Lee Jones, also known as Baby Esther. So please, allow me to introduce you to the original Betty Boop. Born in 1919 or 1920 in Chicago, Illinois, Baby Esther was only 4 when she became a fixture in nightclubs, delighting audiences with her scat singing and dancing. Unfortunately, there's no surviving footage of her act or live recordings of her songs, but to give you an idea, she would roll her eyes, make funny faces, smile to the audience, and make unique sounds with B's and D's, like for example, boo doo doo or boo dee doo. Sound familiar?
Boop boop beep. freedom.
In fact, she got so popular that she toured Europe in 1929 and even put on shows for royalty. Soon enough, her unusual baby voice became the signature of the Cotton Club in Harlem, and it was there that Helle Kane, a white performer, swiped her act and by extension decided to appropriate her signature style. Sadly, it was quite common at the time for white performers to steal the acts of their black counterparts without credit or compensation and become wildly successful. So, unsurprisingly, Kane became much more popular than the original creator she stole from until the Betty Boop cartoon debuted in 1930. In fact, quite ironically, one of the reasons we know of Baby Esther today is because Helle Kane filed a $250,000 lawsuit against Max Fleischer, Betty Boop's creator, for infringing upon her persona and profiting from her artistic creation. Yup, as Betty Boop became more and more successful and Helle Kane saw her own popularity dwindle, she decided to sue Fleischer and Paramount Studios because she felt exploited. As I said, ironic. Ironic indeed. The lawsuit backfired though because Fleischer testified that Betty Boop was modeled after multiple women, and Paramount Studios argued that Kane herself had taken her persona from Baby Esther, and archival footage of one of Esther's performances was even used as evidence. So they basically won the case by proving that a black entertainer had used the boo boop badoo phrase before Kane or the original Betty Boop actress. And so Helle Kane walked away without a dime. Honestly, can't really say I'm mad at it. Sadly though, like a lot of black figures in history, despite it being proven that Baby Esther was one of the inspirations behind Betty Boop's character, she never received compensation, credit, or royalties. What's more, her life after the trial remains a mystery. But regardless, the fact remains that Esther Lee Jones was literally whitewashed from history and never received a penny for her contributions. And in that, she wasn't the first black artist nor the last to have their work stolen and not be properly compensated. But I will say this, Betty Boop is a symbol of the jazz age, and although this now renowned character is white, she would have never existed without black artistry.
I wanted to give a short bio of Baby Esther Jones, better known as the real inspirational to Betty Boop. I will be going more deep on the story. Her story is sad, the fact that they exploited this young child, that was 8 to 10 years old. The fact that an older white woman named Helle Kane stole from a child is truly disturbing. It was decided that a black woman by the name of Jasmine Rogers would be the new reimagined Betty Boop for Betty's 2023 Broadway debut. Rogers is the first to debut as the original Betty Boop on Broadway, in a full licensed Betty Boop musical show. Instead of New York, a place where Betty Boop originates, the show debuted in Chicago, a place where Esther Jones was born. Though the producers of the show claim that this choice had nothing to do with Jones, it is quite a coincidence that Chicago is where Betty made her debut.
Where dreams have no boundaries, every child harbors the magic of endless possibilities. From the amusing astronauts who are floating a tad bit too high, to the bumbling biologists who can't stop marveling at plants, a hairdresser, a chef, and even the President of the United States of America. Dive deep into the colorful and rich world of I Wanna Be When I Grow Up. Join our little protagonists as they explore, stumble, giggle, learn, and grow through the realms of countless careers, with a sprinkle of fun and humor, because dreaming is serious business. Well, not too serious. Everything starts with imagination. But don't just take our word for it. Look to these sparkling reviews. So what do you want to be when you grow up? Embark on this delightful journey with the newly released book, I Wanna Be When I Grow Up by Sacred Grove and Shakira Amin. Grab your copy today from Kindle or Barnes & Nobles. Because reading is fun and fundamental, we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future.
There are so many things I want to talk about.